So all of you now allow yourselves to become relaxed, let go of the cares of the day, breathe deeply and easily in and out, in and out, in and out. Allow your body to relax while your mind stays alert. And as you become more and more relaxed, letting the relaxation wash over your body, feeling the tension in your muscles soften, feeling any tension in your throat soften, feeling any tension in your mind soften. Allow yourself to envision, allow yourself to imagine, while you continue to breathe, the idea of walking through the world, from state to state, from country to country, no borders, different regions, different cultures, different experiences, yes, different exciting, unique things to discover, yes, but no borders, no papers, no barriers, one planet, one world, humanity. The Interstellar Alliance sees the Earth this way. A melting pot of different experiences, widely ranging experiences, different cultures, different perspectives, different experiences, different ways of looking at things, different ways of being, all beautiful, all blending, able to exchange wherever, whenever, with whomever, exchange ideas, exchange perspectives, to build upon one another's achievements, to share one another's skills and benefits, to be of help and be of assistance to one another where needed, to give and to receive freely. There can still be exchanges of value, but to be able to share, to be able to communicate, to be able to create new ideas, to build on other ideas, to expand your awareness and your imagination and your creativity, to let go of the limitations that you have thought necessary on your planet, to begin to understand the true power of synchronicity and how everything is synchronicity, everything is an orchestration, everything is connected to everything. There are no accidents. It's all a beautiful symphony of timing, of being, of sharing, of knowing, of playing, of learning, of growing. Allow yourself, when you utilize, where appropriate, when appropriate, in conjunction with your other identification cards, the Interstellar Alliance ID, if you wish to participate in this way, your choice, you are free. But when you use it, see the Earth this way, a beautiful, infinite network of exchange, of ideas, of energy, of sharing, of love, of support, of giving and receiving, of valuing, of worthiness, of beauty, of charm, of excellence, of artistry, of music, of awareness. This is what the card represents. This is what it means to be a citizen of the Interstellar Alliance. An exchange between worlds, an exchange between star systems, amplifying and magnifying each other, expanding each other, helping each other grow, learn, explore, discover, being the seed of that. being the core of that unconditional support and love that serves all relationships who are willing to allow each to be a reflection to the other of what they need to become more of who they are. To know your connection to Source. To know that you are in spirit right now, breathing it in, breathing it out, creating and crystallizing your experience that you call physical reality within the center of your soul. You have never left spirit. Spirit is everything, everywhere, and everyone is in it. Each a spark of light, like the multitude of stars in the sky, sharing light with each other, illuminating each other and all the planets that circle them. Breathe it in and breathe it out. And give yourself the opportunity to feel, even if temporarily, now and then, what it truly feels like to be free, to be a creative, imaginative individual that is part of a community, part of a whole, unique in your individuality, but connected to all, serving all, seeing everything you need to see, receiving everything you need to receive, giving everything that needs to be given, walking from one place to another, being wherever you need to be in perfect timing, a citizen of the Interstellar Alliance. We give you this gift to practice with, to enjoy, and to play with. By all means, please play in this idea of the social experiment. We thank you for allowing us to share this with you this time, and we welcome you as honorary members of the Interstellar Alliance until the day in which it is made official, physically, throughout your world. That day is not so very far away. Not so very far away. Not so very far away. Our unconditional love to you all. We are in service to you. Be in service to each other. Ave. Good day.
All you will ever discover in the deepest, darkest, most fearsome abyss.
Humanity is doing to the world. They're having trouble focusing on the positives and letting themselves enjoy things. They're saying, if I watch a TV show, I feel like I'm supporting corporations and capitalism. If I buy a treat at the store, I feel off about the wrapper or the packaging contributing to waste. If they want to take a trip somewhere, now they're worried about their carbon imprint. They can't afford an electric car, etc. They even get hesitant about ordering business cards to put themselves out there in the world because of the paper, ink, shipping, and so on. Even watching this transmission online or using the internet uses servers and energy and fossil fuels. I'd like to relax about some of this and flow and enjoy my life, but I'm worried about voting for the reality that I prefer and with my actions and don't want to make any mistakes. Is this level of attention to detail about ramifications of every choice in our lives necessary, or am I just punishing and restricting myself unnecessarily with all of this? Can we
Yes,
be
you are punishing and restricting yourself unnecessarily. You are overthinking things. The idea is you're holding yourself back and you are not allowing yourself to move forward because you're using all of those things as an excuse to not move forward. There are ways you can go about doing all of those things that are at least in some way, shape, or form more in alignment with the way you would prefer to do them. And if there isn't, the idea is then do something about making changes in your society that would allow you to move forward on those things so that society can perhaps learn to do them in different ways that are more beneficial to all. But the idea is that you are simply focusing on all the negative things, which only increases the negative energy. You are compounding the negativity by being afraid to move forward because of what you believe to be negativity itself involved in all of those things. Don't use it as an excuse to not move forward. If you're going to allow changes to occur that are positive, you do have to take some actions, otherwise nothing happens except a reinforcement of the negativity that you are perceiving, but getting caught up in terms of all these details. So don't use it as an excuse to not move forward. Allow yourself to know there are ways to do things that are more positive, and if there isn't, then you have the opportunity to invent ways of doing things that are more positive or teach others how to come together to think of new ways using your creative imagination. That's what it's all about. So if you see something that you are vibrationally not compatible with, then do something in your creative imagination to change those things to be more vibrationally compatible with the reality that you prefer. Don't just sit there and refuse to move, because then you're just reinforcing all the negativity that you are choosing to focus on. The idea of saying creation doesn't make mistakes is sort of a euphemistic way of talking to you in your space-time referential perspective of saying that everything exists now. So the idea is that you have to understand creation, existence is a whole system. And as a whole system, every single thing that exists must be necessary within that existence. There cannot be anything within existence that doesn't fit, doesn't belong, isn't part of the whole, isn't helping the whole function as a whole system. And therefore, euphemistically, from your linear space-time perspective, that simply translates down to the idea that creation doesn't make mistakes, which is simply another way of saying there cannot be any part of existence that doesn't belong within existence, because that would be pointless. It wouldn't work as a whole system. And obviously it does work as a whole system. So every single aspect, no matter what it is, of that which exists must of necessity be required for the whole system to exist. And that's what we mean by creation doesn't make mistakes.
This person is saying that as a young adult, she was having a challenging time letting go of her parents and knowing that they would not probably shift to the version of Earth that she was going to change to. So, do you have any guidance with help with this kind of transition?
Well, first and foremost, you don't necessarily know for a fact that versions of your parents won't wind up on the same planet. There may be a lot of other reasons why people will shift to different versions of Earth. There may still be interactions that are necessary for you to experience there, although they may be of a very different nature, commensurate with that version of Earth. At the same time, remember that physical reality is temporary, and it's an experience that's happening within your soul. So you will never actually ultimately lose track of anyone in your life, because even if they disappear from your physical reality experience, you will always be capable of engaging with them again in your spirit self, in your spirit form, when you expand your consciousness back to your natural state as a soul. So you never lose track of anyone, even if they might temporarily be out of your life when you are experiencing physical reality. So don't worry about the idea of whether or not they will be on a new earth that you shift to. Allow yourself to understand that if there is a purpose in experiencing them again, or different versions of them, then they will be there. If they're not there, then there is no reason for you to experience that, but you will always reconnect with them when you choose to go back to spirit.
Evolve. Couldn't we just stay where we are? The souls that want this experience would incarnate here, and the ones that don't would simply incarnate some other place. In other terms, why are other civilizations this invested in our ascension?
Well, that's two very different questions. And first of all, you are correct. Souls don't have to incarnate on Earth. Souls often do incarnate in other civilizations, linearly speaking. The idea, again, though, is that in a state where you do experience intermittent time, and sometimes do experience timelessness, which is what intermittent time means, then the idea is that you can't necessarily evolve in that way. You can't change in the way you might wish to for your soul's growth without imposing on yourself the experience of linear space-time. So the idea is, if a soul wishes to change, wishes to grow, wishes to learn, wishes to experience something in a certain way, it has to impose the framework of linear space-time upon its consciousness in such a manner that it then experiences the idea of evolution, change, growth, and discovery. So in a timeless state, you can't experience that because everything is simultaneous. There is no change, there is no growth in that context. And yes, again, a different question. Of course, a soul can choose to experience different civilizations. No one is saying that you have to experience Earth incarnations only. So that's the answer to that part of the question.
Committed relationships. How do we learn to trust ourselves when making decisions? How do we end procrastination and fear and analysis paralysis? Never making a decision in fear of outcome. How do we determine what is right for us and not hurt others?
Well, again, you have to some degree used the word committed relationships as if there's only one way to have a committed relationship. The idea is to be clear in communication as to what it is that is true for you, but also be honest within yourself about why you think it's true for you, because sometimes what you're putting out might be the result of anxiety and fear and negativity as opposed to a true representation of your passion. However, if it is a true representation of your passion, of being your authentic self, then all you have to do when any relationship opportunity presents itself is express what is true for you and let the other people decide whether or not they wish to be engaged in such a relationship as you have expressed it. So the idea is to simply commit to what is authentic for everyone so that everyone has the ability to be informed. Everyone can enter a relationship in a consensual way, knowing what it is that the relationship is for and all about, and how the format needs to be presented to be authentic for all the individuals to be involved. The idea of procrastination is, again, feeling overwhelmed in moving forward, which means you may not be going about doing the thing in a way that is truly in alignment with your passion, because you can never really attract something that is more than you can handle, but you can have a belief system that makes it appear to be more than you can handle, because you may be going about it in ways that don't actually work for you, are ways that are not actually aligned with your true flow. So procrastination is usually the result of holding on to the idea that you have to do things in a certain way that are not in alignment with your flow. So investigating yourself and letting go of those belief systems and understanding there is always a path that works for you will allow you the opportunity to explore exactly what that path looks like and to align with it in such a way that you can start to flow forward again, knowing that you don't have to experience any degree of overwhelm if you take the time and exercise your creative imagination to find the way that works for you. Because when you become excited about the path itself, that's in alignment with your passion because it is also representational of your passion, then you will stop at nothing to move forward. Not moving forward means you're not going about it in the way that works for you.
Journey and who we really are, or can it be a positive part of our lives? Are forms of entertainment like that compatible with a vision for open contact and spiritual evolution on Earth and a healthy world?
Yes, of course. Anything. We will underline that 10 billion times. Anything can be used positively or negatively. It depends on what's going on in the belief system of the person and why they may be absorbing that information and what the information is all about and what it represents to them. Are they watching this out of anxiety? Are they absorbing it because of their own fear-based or negative belief system? Or are they learning something from it that can be applied to their lives in a positive way or in the sharing and service that they provide for humanity? It's about how you use the information, why you use the information. So yes, of course, there's the possibility it can become negatively addictive, but you have to understand that that starts within the person themselves as about why they're watching what they're watching. So they have to be honest within themselves and ask themselves, why am I watching this? What am I learning from it? How can I use it in my life in a positive way or not? So again, it requires honest self-investigation to answer that question. But anything can be used positively or negatively, or even neutrally.
Okay, and final question. What is the one thing we can do each and every day to lessen the suffering in our world?
Be of service to others as best you can. Help where you can, knowing that showing others that there may be a more positive way to experience life, to put them in touch with their self-empowerment, to allow them to feel their connection to Source as an expression of Source, can be done as best as you can do it, but you have to let them decide how to absorb that information or even to receive it and accept it at all. Because you have to see them as powerful beings that have a life path that you know nothing about or very little about, but still understand that there may be a reason why they're in your life, and that may be for the benefit that you can share with them of other ways to do things that may be more beneficial to them. Whether or not they choose to take it is up to them. So do the best you can to help where synchronicity provides an opportunity for you to do so. Take the actions necessary that you would take if you were already living on a world of joy, peace, love, and connection, and just do the best you can to stay in that state, acting on your passion, following the formula, and being of service where you can. That's the best you can do.